Why isn't he here in the Half-Life Laboratory? It's his home. It's where he belongs.
Yeah.
Okay. So, session begins. I forget exactly where we left off last session, but I believe...
we were all resting.
Yeah.
Well, we weren't arresting. We were becoming police officers.
Oh, yeah, we did the police officers, and then we all went to rest.
Right, we weren't resting. Okay. So you guys wake
and
up.
Amp's like... Actually, before we begin, I need to ask what Amp's preparation for this is. How many episodes of Cops has Amp watched?
Cops, he hasn't watched any episodes, but has instead decided to play the intro song on repeat, and that's how he's prepped.
Has he watched Reno 911?
Yes.
If he joins the deputy faction,
every episode will be like Reno 911. Yes.
I need you to make him a power called New Boot Goofing.
Okay. It's just he goofs off for a minute and then something horrible happens to his ride? Okay.
It's like everything you do is slightly more fucked up because you're wearing cowboy boots.
The tightest
He's like, that's real alpaca skin? What the fuck was it?
I think so. I think that's what it was.
Real alpaca skin.
Got fucking alpaca skin, white cowboy boots. What an asshole.
Alright, so we're gonna cut into this session. It's gonna open with Chivalry not resting. He's basically helping Mr. President prepare. But you guys are gonna wake up to Chivalry screaming.
He's fallen on the ground, clutching at his chest, scrabbling, screaming. The points inside the googly eyes are like pinheads. They're so much smaller. He's sweating. Little sequins are falling everywhere. And you slowly see, in red hot lettering burning into his chest, the word being etched there.
What is the word?
Well, what's the word?
Sam, go on.
Word is the word.
As the red glow
One of us had to
fades,
say it.
a dull blue glow spells out the word parole officer. As visions of an infinite void, a timeless prison, and a single sphere humming away with just passive malcontent. Chivalry is now granted knowledge of the Great Wall, and in some fashion, his connection to formerly Avery, now Dredger, is established. Visions of their adventure so far, in brief flashes, not a complete story, flood into his mind.
Chivalry now has some concept of what Dredger has been up to.
Wait, is he on parole or is he a parole officer?
So Chivalry is now Dredger's parole officer.
He's Dredger's parole officer for a prison that is the hell of this setting.
Sick.
It is a place... In Evil Squad, I went to a place that's even worse than Market Street.
Ah,
Believe you.
It
doesn't exist. Is it America?
I like how you said that quietly.
Biden's Market Street.
Grey Mole is the future liberals want.
I think you meant Bezos, the Bezos Musk market.
That's just regular Market Street.
I mean, they wish. They can't be that fucked.
So I'd ask, how do you guys react to Chivalry having a weird paranormal moment in character?
Mr. President, seeing as he is right next to him, would probably trying to help him the best he can, like, get through this. I don't know if he needs, like, a hand to hold or anything.
Chivalry can't really hold on to anything. You see that if you get close to him, you hear some noises that aren't really him. You know, like you hear him screaming behind it. You hear the crashing of hooves and waves, and also the strange mutterings of someone performing a surgery, just constantly talking to themselves, mumbling medical terms over and over and over again. You do understand the language. If you don't mind me overstepping a moment, Sam.
Go for it.
I understand the language for sure, because I'm pretty sure I understand all languages.
You understand the language, but the actual content of it doesn't really make any sense. You keep hearing the sentence, only the tongue, remove the tongue, only the tongue.
Okay.
So, after but a moment, the letter burns out, just leaving the dull blue etchings on his chest. Chivalry? Fortunately, I don't believe has a command stat, so we don't need to do a trauma check.
Chivalry does have command.
Oh, he does now? Alright,
yes.
Stability, this is going to be a trauma check.
Fuck.
Can I use leadership to help, or does my...
Chivalry got 2 aids.
Right.
That's... Okay, we don't need... Normally you would be able to assist, but he's already got it. So...
Okay.
Yeah, you don't lose half your willpower.
Chivalry pulls himself up, the blue sequins around him from his tears and sweat already sublimating, just disappearing, each with a little clicking noise. Pulls himself up and shakily says to Mr. President that I know what the lad's been up to now. I know.
Will that help us?
I know where he's been. I don't know. It's Chivalry like stumbles and puts his hand on his head, catches himself using Fraggle Rock as a cane almost.
I'll hold him up.
Yeah.
He's pretty light. You can do it easily.
Yeah.
He weighs 10 pounds.
I think I can lift 10 pounds. Thankfully.
Yeah. Think or you know?
Oh, I think. I think.
Propulsion's just cracked his door, looked outside, saw something paranormal, and went, business as usual, went back to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie's going to look through glass to see if he needs to interfere, but if it looks like it's okay, he's just going to not do anything with that.
So Chivalry will look up at Mr. President and say that he took the spirit to a place I can't really make sense of. He's with someone wearing like a man made of chitin, a man with like chivalry like buckles. And
does a man made of chitin bring anyone to mind, Sam?
Make a streetwise check.
Okay. Does 6 10s work?
Alright, you can say for certain.
I am not trained in this stat, but I will say...
That's fine. It's still enough for this check. You know for a fact it's no one local to this area.
Okay. No one local to this area.
Chivalry will say he didn't know where they were, and Chivalry like buckles and almost falls over again and says, I don't know how much time passed where they were, but the lad, he tricked a malcontent god they broke someone out.
Who?
I don't know. They barely saw him. He was in a huge cube of pharaoh floating in molten metal.
Can you describe like the setting? Maybe I can at least figure out where they're at.
So Tom, just to make sure you don't overstep the bounds, you guys have not fully opened the box yet.
I know.
Okay.
So Chivalry will sit down, put his hands on his forehead, lean back, and say, I need your help. I can't. I'm not sure how far I can go and really think about this. I'll need your help.
It's fine, you got it. You got mine. Do you want Charlie to help?
I.
He's good at seeing things. Charlie!
Just gonna like stumble out of the room, like eye half closed. Like, what's up?
We need your eyes.
All right,
Actually,
I'm gonna.
can you
come,
see
like,
powers?
What do your glass eyes see?
What's your glass I see? Yes.
What would you like me to say,
They're taking the
Powers?
spirit to hell.
Can you see powers on the blue etching on Chivalry? I'm assuming you notice it.
I can do that. What do I see?
You see blue etching. There is nothing paranormal about it.
Nord.
I will not note anything because it does not look paranormal.
Nord.
Chivalry will give Charlie a crash course about what he's experienced here, how he just got etched, and with an incredible amount of pain, the conduit between him and Avery, well, between him and the lad, he still doesn't know Avery's name anymore, has been opened, and he has an idea what they've been up to.
So, like, if I told you the lad's name was Avery, like, does that
Chivalry can't hear the name anymore.
Okay.
It just doesn't sound like it is completely impossible for him to perceive anything of Avery's name because he knew Avery's full name.
What if he talked about someone whose name was also Avery?
It's just he can't say or know anything too specific about Avery. He only knows him as the lad.
Gotcha.
It's like a broken pointer.
Yeah. He has a lot of information about the things they did together, but he has no more information about what happened to them before the city, which means that he doesn't know Avery's search history anymore. And Dredger gains willpower.
Nice try. Yeah, so I'm going to go plop myself down next to Mr. President, or at least within 10 yards of Mr. President. And so what exactly am I looking for? I'm going to say this while, like, peering at a glass rock I have.
Chivalry will say, I'm trying to recall where the lad and his acquaintance even were. They were breaking someone out. And I don't know how safe it is for me to do this, considering what just happened to me.
Was it in the flooded district?
Chivalry thinks for a moment and says, no.
Then I probably
There was a moment
can't
where they were in the flooded district, and then they were in a completely untouched city block. It just looked like
unless
we were before.
I still have glass on the Spirit of the Unknown or on the talent formerly known as Avery.
No.
So Avery won't have any, and I don't know. The Spirit of the Unknown is for legal reasons. It's currently the Spirit of the Known LLC. I don't know how
to trial because we ignored laws. I'm not going to start paying attention to them now. So, is there any glass in the Spirit of the Unknown?
Fucking mood.
Let me roll to see if Mammon missed any. Your glass is subtle on it, right? How many hard dice do you have on make glass?
On turn to glass, I have 6 wiggle die.
Okay, and it does have subtle, right?
Yes.
Okay, so the number of actions he would have been able to do in conventional time because he wouldn't have been able to speed it up. How many pieces of glass do you think you would have made on the Spirit of the Unknown?
I don't know if it would have been as much turning the spirit to glass as hiding rocks all over the place, just so I had good viewing angles.
Like rough estimate, rounded to 10 places. Like 10,
I mean, probably like 20 max, just kind of like placed around.
Okay, so there's probably one in like a far off porthole. You're able to get a general. It doesn't have a view of a window, but based on how things are moving in the Spirit of the Unknown, you can be like, Okay, so from the flotilla, they banked left, they banked right.
Okay.
You can get into like a general area.
Mhm.
You're not sure how fast they're moving, so whenever they're
I
moving
am trained in navigation.
yeah, whenever they're moving in a straight line, it gets really unclear. But you
Mhm.
can make kind of a cone about where they may or may not be.
Okay.
As time goes on, it's going to get more uncertain. But if you make a navigation check for me right now,
I'm not actually very good at it. I just am trained. Roll 4 whole dice for this.
we can keep taking your time.
I roll 5 whole dice for this. That is... that's a pair of 3s.
Oh
Okay.
boy!
So
I usually can't get anything without like 7 dice.
that gives you a circle with a radius of several dozen miles.
Could I also just like turn something somewhat nearby to glass, or is there not stuff that I can target? Not
I'll
on
tell
the
you
ship.
right now, the ship is full of what appear to be ghosts.
Sure. I'm talking about stuff off the ship.
It can't see off the ship. It's completely internal. It can't see
Got
the
it.
windows. You're just
You could try-
behind a bit of the cargo bay.
You could try directly viewing Avery if you wanted to.
I mean, if I can get a view of him, that'd be great if he's there.
I don't believe Dredger has been to this part of the Spirit of the Unknown yet.
That thing is fucking huge. There's so much going on in there.
So, let's see here. This gives you about a 20 to 40 mile radius. A lot of stuff in that area. A lot of stuff well hidden by the bog.
Sure.
Mr. President is here. He has pretty high mind. If he wants to take like 2 gobble dice on his... You know what? No. This is going to be a research roll.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for these mechanics, you can narrow down your search by... Think of it like Google. You can narrow the search by terms. Like, what are you looking for exactly? You've got... I'll do it this way. Each term is going to be a gobble dice, but it increases the chances of you finding something relevant.
If you like, Chivalry can start narrating more of what he most remembers from the memories from their connection.
It might be better if
I'm not like quite understanding what you mean.
So
yeah,
like,
what you mean.
I'm looking for a bakery. That's 1 gobble dice in this circle that Charlie has laid out. You will get info on all like bakeries that are there. That might give you a lead on where they were.
Okay. So I should look at for like things that based on where they are, what we know. So we know where like a bunch of sunken ship locations are, don't we?
You do.
So sunken ships.
You can try asking Chivalry for details, like specific questions. Don't.
Okay.
A rant might give you too much information. You might get focused on the wrong bits.
Got it. All right, Tom. Give me an idea.
So, Chivalry says that the last thing he remembers what their goal was, that the lad and someone else, the warrior made of chitin, the insect man,
Bug Boy. We're gonna call him Bug Boy.
they were standing in
Bug Boy.
in a room of no. It was enormous. There were no walls. It was huge. A void. A void in nothing, with a sea of jagged metal, molten and flowing and shifting.
Did they have to enter and or exit a portal to get to that?
They spoke to something, and they were there. And Chivalry pitches forward like he's going to
Or
vomit
likely
and says they were
like
all,
a pocket dimension.
everyone was. God, there was so much Chivalry. Kind of retches, which is interesting because as near as anyone knows, he doesn't have a mouth. And says,
You do, just so you know, you do have like, I don't know if this is like a mind effect on you, but I do like radiate.
no, this
leadership.
is not a mind effect. This is just.
All right, I
Chivalry
also
ra-
radiate leadership, which helps with rolls on like seeing gross things and stuff.
How much leadership you got?
Don't answer. I'll take it all.
Give me a second. 6. I can roll if you want. It's 6 starting, chained to 4.
Jesus.
I can roll though.
That
I'll roll.
might work, but Chivalry is
Actually, 8. 9 chained to 4.
Chivalry is kind of an unstable person to begin with. I'm not certain how well that would work because he's
Tell you what.
He's allowed to
I
be
can
grossed
give
out.
you. I can give you.
I'm just trying to help him. So like, I don't know if
I
like
can give you an
this
assist. What happened was awful, but what Chivalry goes to vomit, weirdly enough, he tastes freshly made pedophores and baked goods.
I was more just trying to help him, like with
Just
like
get over
focusing.
Yeah.
No, not get
Right.
over it. More of like help him focus on the details rather than like getting grossed out by all like the nuances in the background.
Chivalry leans
That's more
forward
of what I
and
was aiming for.
he retches and he'll say that he looks so confused. I taste cake.
I don't know why that happened.
And
Must have been
he-
the cake that Sweet Tooth made or something.
Sweet Tooth does not
Right,
make cake; he makes candy.
I can't really eat. It's just it tastes how cake smells. There's not really anything equivalent when I was alive, I suppose.
Metaphors are cute.
All right,
Wait,
so
is Chivalry a lich?
Questions for later.
That's a problem for
Questions
another
later.
yeah, can we not? Yeah. So, man, I feel lost. But so they're in this endless void with like jagged metal spikes.
And
They
they're
got
talking
there
to
by what
the-
seems like
a portal.
teleportation. By a portal. So
Well, not that they
is it pocket dimension or does it feel like a pocket dimension or teleportation?
they went to a room where they spoke with something. It described to them that wherever they were going was far larger than the city, and that they had to confess to a crime to go there. It sent them, and they saw terrible, terrible things until they got to an infinite ocean of metal and strange floating cubes, speaking to a great sphere made of made of iron.
Wait, is it squares or circles?
So in the location we were in, this is me speaking out of character, there was a sea of an infinitely large space with no natural light sources, a sea of black ferromagnetic fluid with cubes of iron rising up and out of it, all watched over by a gigantic sphere, not dissimilar to, in its description, to how I imagine the singularity, but with wires and cables going off of it. Wow, shit. With wires and cables falling off of it, flowing out of it in every possible direction infinitely. I'm sorry, I don't know why I
think
worked so
the
badly
main
there.
thing is we're trying to find out where this guy is, right?
Chivalry will say that when they convinced whatever was in charge of this to give them who they were there for, it sent them out of the prison with one of the cubes in the sea.
So,
Apparently he was in there.
if that was in character, Chivalry just stumbled upon the fact that it was a prison.
Okay.
That is a searchable term you can use.
All right. So prisons near the.
Okay. So looking up, like, just from your memory, because you've seen maps of the pre-awakening city. If you're just searching prisons, that's going to give you like the 2 or 3 that would have been in this area, plus any like a lot of the refugee centers turned into kind of concentration camps and holding cells that could have been considered prisons. It's going to give you a lot of false positives. You're going to need another
hell.
Chivalry will continue thinking about it and say, I think there's something else important here. And he just looks up at no one in particular, the googly eyes unfocused, if that is even a thing you can imagine, because I sure fucking can't. And
we draw like a little serious.
He just says to no one in particular, the cycle must end.
It's like the Fringe Marquee.
We also heard that. Yeah, we heard that from the Fringe Marquee, and then we also heard the cycle must continue from the Hangman.
Just in character, you would remember that the Hangman actually also said the cycle must end.
Oh, okay. I thought he said the cycle must continue.
No.
So would does what he describes remind me of the Hangman?
It would be in line. If you wanna narrow it down by Hanged Man sightings, that would be another searchable term that would narrow it down a lot.
Okay, so
quick question: is this conversation going on inside of the candy shop?
Yes.
And if anyone has any ideas, I will happily take.
The door is just gonna get kicked open. Who the fuck said the Hanged Man? Where is that asshole?
Chivalry.
So what about Hangman location? Hangman sightings in a prison.
There was one at the lighthouse.
Wasn't he in a prison in the lighthouse? Yeah.
I don't think that was a prison, was it?
Chivalry.
It was a shack, but inside of it became a prison.
Chivalry isn't quite certain if this is accurate, but he says that I think the Hangman was born there, created there. I don't.
That's where he got hung. I mean, could we search Gallows?
You could search Gallows if you want.
Hey, not a great idea, but an idea.
Okay.
Who's the current Hangman right now, right? Do we know the name of the current Hangman?
So the
Something
Hangman
to
doesn't
do with
change,
Johnny's
just as
switchblade.
Guardians do.
Got it. Do you know?
Something to do with Johnny's switchblade.
I thought he was one of the former Guardians.
He was.
Or is he the current? Okay. Who's the current Guardian?
Okay.
Do we not know?
So if we're doing Hanged Man sightings, and okay, that's 3 terms. So we have Hanged Man sightings, executions or gallows, and prison. That in the area Charlie designated gives 1 result. That is referencing maps, referencing memory. The only place that did prisons and did officially sanctioned like hangings, stuff like that, would be this one single private prison that was known as, it had a long ass name, but it was just called the Great Wall by the locals. Its entire thing was, you would go in and it was sold as letting inmates serve a 70-year sentence in 1 afternoon, thus letting them get right back into the workforce or dead, making them not the state's problem anymore. Now, when it said dead, they didn't always mean execution, but that the information never really got public. Grey only became active a little bit before the Awakening. It's several miles. It's several dozen miles south of the Foundry, though, so it's well past the Iron Legion.
And I believe that is still in my range, actually.
It's in your range. Would you like to take a direct look at it?
Since I'm sitting next to Mr. President,
Yeah.
don't know actually. I would like to look around the area.
You sure? You have immunity to anyone trying to do mind effects on you. Just straight immunity.
I burned like 3 or 4 willpower in the flotel.
And I can also
willpower.
roll leadership right now, which would just be 1 die I have to roll in order to like help with stability checks.
Okay. We're gonna go with looking around.
Yeah.
So if you're looking around, you don't see the Spirit of the Known LLC. You don't see the sign. It gets you every time, doesn't it, buddy?
Yeah.
So you don't see signs of treasure. What you do see is, after a bit of looking around, picking back and forth for several minutes, you find this undisturbed, completely clean, unsunken road. You see shops that are abandoned but pristine, a bakery where several petty fours have been eaten, but there's a full-on, and a wedding cake has been, it looks like someone let a dog loose on it, just absolutely devoured.
And like weirdly caved in, like it got hollowed out somehow.
Weird dog.
You
Doesn't
see,
like frosting.
you see, like a bookstore where none of the books are even remotely damp. The street lights are still turned on. The road is completely intact until it gets a little bit far away from this one building in the center where it suddenly just falls off, rotting and crumbling. In the center, you see a single 10 by 10 concrete structure with a sign wreathed in nonsense, but at the center is a clean single word, gray wall.
Gray wall.
It doesn't look like a prison, it's too small. It's just a single building. Like, you would... Like, this is like a hardware store sized building. It's not a full-on prison.
Okay.
This is observed from a distance. If you wanted to turn anything in that area to glass, just let me know.
I wouldn't mind turning stuff closer to the area to glass, but I don't want to turn anything in the pristine area to glass. That feels like a bad idea to me.
Okay. As you're staring at the consumed petty force, you notice they're reforming. You notice the cake is unhollowing.
I see.
Until it is back at its pristine, undisturbed state.
Huh. Interesting.
As you look under the crumbling road, you notice this area is actually, it's covered up by the water, but one, this area isn't buoyant enough to float, and two, it's not connected to the ground at all. The water kind of obscures that fact, but this place is basically floating.
So something is exerting a force over it to return it to its previous form, as if looking to the past, slowly rewinding.
Kind of.
Maybe.
Yeah. Something like that.
Should we try go visiting over there, guys?
Chivalry screams, "No!
All
Oh,
right,
don't,
then.
don't, no."
What
Yeah,
you can
and we-
tell from the petty fours and cake is that they were there very recently.
Mm-hmm.
It also means that since you're not seeing any signs of boats or wake, they got there with the Spirit of the Known, LLC. Um,
All rights reserved.
All rights reserved.
Yeah.
Which means they still have control of the boat. That's about all of the info you can get with your current approach. Unless you have any
It's
specific
not a boat.
questions.
It doesn't float.
That's fair. Airship.
Ship or vessel is the appropriate phrase.
Vessel it is.
It's an airship.
No, it doesn't float on the air. Weren't you listen?
No, I wasn't. I had to use so much self-control to not just disconnect there. Yeah, I'm not sure what else exactly to do. I am concerned to look at where I think the prison is or to turn anything to glass there, and I don't want to do that. I would like to look... is there... Okay, here's an interesting question. Does it feel like there is a direction to how the area is restored, or is it circular?
It's not perfectly circular. It seems to be following the roads.
Okay. Interesting. I will just look a little bit down the main road to see if I see the spirit. Not super hopeful, but I'll just check a little bit of a ways down that direction.
You do not see the spirit from the periphery of the Grey Wall. Like, it's booked at that area.
Yeah, I'm saying like peer down that way a little bit, make a couple more spots of glass to look through.
No, they didn't go that way.
Okay. Worth a shot. Yeah, I'm out of ideas. Well, I
At
would...
least gives you a lead if you have a bullet point you can put on a map for areas they have been near.
Yeah. Well, I would love to sit and continue investigating where I'm gonna look over at Chivalry the lad when I think we have a trial a lot sooner than I would like to, so we need to talk to some people about that.
Chivalry nods very quickly. And before they all sublimate, he will grab some of the tears and sweat sequins and collect them in a small airtight container and go find Sweet Tooth.
Yeah.
Sweet Tooth is very happy to have sparkly puppeteers that he can add.
Chivalry does say, now, I don't rightly know what you do with these, and honestly, I'm concerned about some of your proclivities, but here.
Ooh.
If you have any more of these, I'm sure I can put these to use. That should be good for adding some liquid to some stuff. He's gonna observe it and move it around to see how they flow. I'm assuming just regular sequins, but he's
Actually,
still
in
gonna
an
check.
airtight container, they are water.
Interesting.
This is going to outsell the Gamorgirl bathwater by a factor of 10.
Okay.
I'm gonna have Chivalry lose a willpower.
Good. Good. Okay. So, that brings us to... Hey, Derek, would you say there's still some crew outside, maybe having followed them back from the Louisiana Bill's rotisserie chicken?
They're sleeping in the gutters, yes.
Wait, we have gutters?
Yeah, everywhere's
You
good.
do now.
People
How
sleep.
They built them so they could sleep in them.
How-
They're an
Okay,
industrious vagrant.
I'm imagining the most fucked up industrial revolution kind of propaganda about a homeless man building himself a house wherever he ends up.
These homeless crew members built themselves a gutter.
Gonna have to fight animal off of it.
You, I don't know if the Spirit of the Unknown crew has ever met Heartless Bob, but he's strolling up with a bundle of papers in hand. He's prodding some of the sleeping crew members with the butt of his gun, going, "Come on, no loitering."
No loiter.
All right, guess we're escalating. He fires the gun in the air.
The crew member who he has been attempting to move along pulls his blanket up over his head.
You know what? I respect the digging.
5 more minutes.
Sweet Tooth's gonna like pop his head out when he hears the gun go off and like, what's going? Hi. Oh, hi Bob.
Negotiating. 1 second. He starts a timer for 10 minutes going, and then he pulls out a radio. Looks like one of the ones that Mr. President builds. He goes, "Hey, lug. Yeah, 10 minutes. All right. See you soon, man." He strolls up and goes, "Hey, I got a radio from your I got a radio from your warehouse. You guys requested legal documents?"
Oh, we have a case with the Hive coming up soon.
Cool. Did you guys hire a paralegal? I didn't recognize the voice on the box.
No, I don't think so.
I'm gonna hold a finger up. I'm gonna partially close the door and just yell, "Did we hire a paralegal?" into the warehouse, and then just put on a big smile and I peer my head back out the door.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know if we...
Was it Carts? I know we contacted him about it, but...
the call sign was Junior?
Junior.
Oh, Sal Jr. That's right, we hired Sal Jr.
We're gonna go find Sal... Someone's gonna go find Sal Jr. and we're gonna see if that was him. I'm gonna have Charlie go to find Sal Jr. and see if that was him.
Heartless Bob's just gonna knock and go, do you guys mind if I just come in?
Oh, go ahead, come on, yeah.
Bill busts out of his room, fully dressed, cleaned, and starts preparing what he would expect the fops to prepare for him. Which I'm assuming in this case is a breakfast made out of candy bacon. Just like fried Twizzlers, or no, not Twizzlers, like a...
No, so you know those little candies that are just like a burger or whatever? I think they're usually SpongeBob branded, so it's... Yeah, you just take the bacon off of a bunch of the bacon cheeseburgers that I made for those. They taste like actual bacon. They have the same...
I was imagining like a really long piece of... a fruit roll-up that when you unroll it, it just looks like bacon.
No, you just ruined a bunch of my bacon cheeseburgers.
Okay, I ruined bacon cheeseburgers, and Bill gets out a frying pan, cracks open some Cadbury cream eggs, makes a scramble.
Made with real egg.
And he
with real imitation egg.
He looks over at Bob, who I'm assuming is not happy about this preparation, and says, "You got used to it. It's Sweet Tooth is he doesn't like it if anyone brings in any ingredients that aren't candy." I should know
the hospitality, but I really should get to work. He's gonna nod and go, "Don't worry, your immaculate grooming and hospitality towards a guest will be noted." That being said, can you point me in Hancock's direction? I feel like he might be best suited for this business.
Ah, yes. And Bill will point in the direction that Hancock and Chivalry are in, while wistfully thinking about the one time he tried to bring food in himself, and the next morning he found that the lock he put on the refrigerator had been caved in with an ice cream scoop and it was empty.
No, so there's a cornered off section of the warehouse that Sweet Tooth made as a concession where you're allowed to have savory food.
Yeah.
It was a tense negotiation.
An intervention.
Many people died in those negotiations for those rights.
Many researchers
died to bring us this information.
I said both of them to get a cup of coffee, all dead.
Last time I said boffins to get me anything.
I hope many boffins died to get this information. Actually, no, sir. It was significantly easier than that.
Fucking
All right, then.
shreds the
Just start
document.
killing boffins. I'll tell you when to stop.
Who's the legal person here again? Sorry.
It looks like Sal Jr. Just requested them on his own without consulting you guys at all.
Okay.
Fucking dare he?
So I will present the letter from the. They gave us a letter, right?
Yeah, you can't find it right now though.
What?
The letter from the Hive. It's not where you left it.
Wouldn't I have it memorized anyway?
You do have it memorized.
All right, I will say it word for word.
I'm gonna do a perception check looking for Mr. Junior.
Sal Jr.'s on the roof. He's not hiding. He got somewhere with open air to work. He's going over old paperwork regarding you guys and the are you guys considered mercenaries for the hub? Work relations, work history. Skater Kid is popping in occasionally to hand him some files.
I'm gonna go grab some fairly nutritional candy, and Charlie's gonna climb up there and see what he's doing.
Can you tell us so we can join you?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
So Heartless Bob's going, yeah, so first I heard about this Hive trial. Kind of wish someone had talked to me about that, but that's not your problem. Okay, so important things. First things first, I have a written statement signed by both Corey and Wheezy that you guys are not formally recognized as a mercenary force in the hub. They may contest this, but I think it's important to denote. You can take this if you want. It's just entirely optional. We just thought it might be helpful to, reiterate that there's no official relationship. And then I also have one stating there is a complete official relationship if you want to go that route.
Don't we want to go out of character. Don't we want to go in an official relationship because they don't want to break the treaty with?
Yeah, that is what I remembered in the past. It was alluded to the fact that we wanted to have an official relationship.
All right. I think we want to. I think it would be better if we go the official relationship, but having options is always great. Where is Charlie and where is Sal Jr.?
You see, Charlie's shoe, passing a window, as he shoddily climbs up to the roof.
Okay. Climbing on the roof, I guess.
So Charlie's. Can I take over? Or?
Yeah, you see Sal Jr. with he got a cup of coffee somewhere.
I'm just going to assume that's the Cosmo and work from there. I'm gonna kind of plop down next to him without saying anything. Put some of the candy. I don't know if you like sweets, but this stuff's pretty nutritional. I haven't died eating it. Anyway, did you sleep? Have you eaten? You doing okay?
Passed out for 30 minutes. Did you kill me, by the way? Am I remembering that correctly?
I thought you had more left. I did. I'm sorry. We got you back, though. I'm sorry.
All right, compartmentalizing. We'll deal with that later.
Okay.
So...
You feel free to punch me if you want for that, or whatever.
Oh, Charlie gonna fucking die now.
Charlie dies from one punch. One punch!
So, I found that letter from the Hive you guys have. We need to deal with this immediately. Please note that while I am not officially recognized by either the Bar or Association of Greater Lawyers, I do have some experience as I was literally mayor of a town for several years. Now, would you like my legal counsel, or would you do you guys already have a plan?
I mean, we were gonna chat with an acquaintance or friend of ours, depending on who you ask, but I'm gonna just like kind of briefly look at the papers. It's like it looks like you have a pretty good idea of what you're doing, and I think you've already talked with the FOPs, the one of the local people. So like, do you want me to bring other people who know legal stuff better than me up? I just wanted to check on you before
I don't
putting you
think
into a
you
social
need to.
situation.
This is actually a pretty simple case. So the entire reason the Hive is pursuing you guys is they, based on the information I have here, assume you're one of the Hub has a history of hiring mercenary expeditionary forces. They've done it towards our town. They've done it in the past. The Hive is assuming it's something similar, and that this was a intentional move by the Hub to destabilize what they view as one of their vassals, and was legally recognized as what is known as a puppet state.
Okay.
Really, all you have to do is abdicate any formal relationship with the Hub, and we can just treat it as mercenaries.
Would that then generate potential consequences for us, though?
Potentially, but did you take any payment from Shrimptown?
Uh,
I want to point out you do still have the incense.
Yes.
Didn't we use it?
Was that as payment, though?
Yes.
Legally
That was
speaking,
payment.
it would be payment.
Yes, we did technically take payment.
Then legally, what happened is this is a contract of opportunity. You guys are mercenaries hired by Shrimptown. You'd be treated no different than as if they'd hire, militias or mercenary forces to augment their own garrisons. So, basically, mercenary work is protected work via the Hive laws. They do that because a lot of their overseers are mercenaries, and legally they want to give them a lot of wiggle room and gray areas to work within. We can just use that, and you guys will be fine. You just have to be very careful, and if we go this route, legally speaking, you guys can never be official representatives of the Hub if we go this route.
Wait, in the future, that doesn't make sense though. Even
basically, if you do that, it would be signaling to the Hive that you just straight up lied to them.
Does this mean that Mr. President's gubernatorial campaign can't go on?
Oh no, if you become unofficial civilian leader later on, that's different. That's a development.
Well, I think there would be an interesting state change after the store opened. After the store opened, we can establish a relationship, right? But we don't have enough. Right?
There's something else. And Serenade and Chivalry joined the detectives.
Chivalry,
but we weren't
actually
in this fight. The only people in this fight were Charlie, Mr. President, and Captain Dumas.
Oh, is there going to be a problem that Dumont can't be here?
He's dead.
Well, it didn't take payment.
True.
Also, Serenade's going to be very disappointed that that he's not going to the trial. He got dressed up real nice.
They're going to be treating you as a whole. I will be completely honest. They're probably cross-referencing verbal kink records for staffing information.
That makes sense.
And for the record, in the future just meant the immediate future. I imagine, basically, if you give me time to file extenuating circumstance paperwork, I can change anything about your relationship to the Hub. We just can't do it in the near future because I won't have time to file that paperwork.
Oh, okay.
Got it.
Okay. That seems fine. I'm sure there will be a consequence for that, but we can deal with that. Just.
Do you want to bring our other lawyer?
Just because it's best to consider all options. What if we regarded it in such a way that we did have a formal relationship with a Hub? What would we be looking at then?
Sanctions, possibly retribution and territorial claims from the Hive. Escalation for sure.
Okay.
So if you wanted to go to war with the Hive, this would be a good way to expedite it. But it would also be the most formal way to do it. So basically, instead of what you would gain is, legally speaking, you would be able to represent the hub in future negotiations. You would never... So in the near future, if you're in conflicts, if we're hiding your relationship with the hub, you wouldn't be able to use any hub forces. So, like, for example, if you used FOPS, that would be a faux pas until I can get that state change filed. And
I see.
You know, if you have recently used FOPS, you know, that would be a very clear point of evidence they could look at and go, you are not a mercenary force, you're using hub resources and staff, you are basically integrated.
Well, we did use FOPS in defending the flotilla.
Interesting.
Yesterday.
I mean, Bill technically joined them after the fact, but but the FOPs were there more, not so much as direct help for us, right? But
then
this is also after the incident too that we used all these resources.
There is a distinction in that we contacted and received help from the FOPs on our own terms, not through any sort of official resource, if that's something that could maybe help.
All right. I'm gonna contact the FOP I asked to come over. I'm gonna need a shit ton of paperwork for that.
I think he's here already. If you want to fly down and talk with him.
Yeah, we're gonna.
We also had a consultation with Quake too.
You mean Quartz?
Quartz.
Yeah, so we were gonna discuss with. We already made an appointment with an acquaintance of ours. I forget personally. Like Seth forgets exactly when that was, but would you like to go with us to that and maybe have?
It would be like in an hour or two, if that.
Okay. So yeah, do we want to? I'll offer to him like, hey, do you want to go talk with our friend Quartz? He offers. Assessment for this type of stuff, and just having a second set of eyes could always be helpful.
All right, sounds good. I'll be honest, I've always avoided conflict, so honestly, expeditionary actions against a sovereign or a claimed piece of territory is outside of my wheelhouse. You might know more in that regard than I do, if you want to go the formally recognized route. And then we're going to cut back to Heartless Bob talking with Mr. President going, so yeah, I brought schematics for a nuke.
I make those already.
Yeah, but so here's what I was thinking. We don't want to completely obliterate the hive. That would cause a famine. So we have some talents.
He has the same idea as me.
So we have some talents who do miniaturization tech, right? It's good stuff. Now, we do some miniaturization. We do some application.
I pull out an ICBM.
No, see, that's too pristine. What I want to do is a cobalt dirty bomb. What it's going to do is it's going to irradiate the entire place, top to bottom. But part of the miniaturization talent, it's going to cut the half-life by several factors. So the insects should be fine. They don't have a lot of radiation damageable organs. Humans, on the other hand, they're going to start dropping, like, pun intended, flies. I had some of our brains run projections. We can probably clear out 70% of the population. This will kill the slaves, unfortunately, but so would living in the hive.
Some of you may die,
but that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
And
well,
let's be honest.
Time we heard from Reginald, by the way. Is he still there?
He's still there. He was making overtures towards being administration, which is The part of that was him going radio silent for a little bit.
Okay.
But
I also think it's been like a day. Yesterday was long
yeah.
in game.
Don't worry, you will hear from him very soon.
Oh, I'm worried.
Don't be. It's fine. How does Mr. President respond to this guy just straight up having a plan ready to depopulate the hive?
Can I back? I mean, I'm gonna attempt a backhand, but I have no body, so it's just gonna look really weak. Can it just be a showy backhand?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like you
she
take off
is
a
still
glove
with you.
and just flick of the wrist.
Yeah. No force behind it because I have 2 body.
Alright. Apologies.
Normal human body, isn't it?
Check. Okay, cool.
Yeah, 2 bodies average. You go
An average person can still hurt you if they punch you.
Yeah, I also have no athletics because I thought rolling 4 dice is the average person, so I only
That's
have
if
just
you're
2
like
dice.
skilled and do it pretty frequently.
Got it.
If you like, you could have Chivalry do it.
No. I wanted a showy hand, so I wanted it to be based off of charisma more than anything or performance.
He gets your message loud and clear, and as a fop, he respects the showmanship. All right.
I think they're upstairs, by the way.
Alright, I'm assuming you don't want the plague plan either.
Yes, no on the plague plan.
Slave Uprising?
That I would love to hear more about. Let's workshop that while we climb upstairs.
Alright, that one has a lot of holes, but if you guys can get me info while you're there, I can work on it for sure. Alright. You guys go up to the roof. The roof is coming down because we're heading to Quartz. So is the entire who here is going to the Quartz meeting? Mr. President? Is Charlie?
Tooth and Charlie would both like to go.
Okay.
I think Chivalry would as well on basis that he likes quartz.
I was gonna ask. Amp was gonna ask Chivalry if he wanted to go out in the first ride as long. First patrol.
Chivalry will sigh and say, "Well, for one, I didn't really want to join. I could, but and at the same time, I appear to be a different kind of officer now." And he points to his chest where it's still etched parole.
Fair enough.
All right, I will ask Karenade then. Karenade! And then I'll just run in and ask Karenade.
Bob, I just heard you yell what? I don't think your mic picked it up.
No.
We're going on patrol!
Okay.
Alright. We won't run that.
Is propulsion coming along to the legal dispute? Or legal counsel?
Legal rap battle.
Sure.
Epic rap battles of history.
Alright. So you guys roll up on Quartz. Derek.
Yes.
Does Captain Dumont's crew tag along?
At least some of them. We can operate under the assumption that anytime somebody is doing something that might be interesting, there's some crew tagging along. There's a lot of fucking crew wandering.
Well, he's at a bar, so they're probably already there. They don't need to tag along.
Like, if there was a census done of the flooded district, there would be like an extra half a percentage point compared to a week ago.
Oh shit!
That's so many people. All right. You guys get there. Bats is going off the hook. He is making so many drinks. He's so happy to have, he considers him and Captain Dumont to have been at least friends. So having his crew here is it's good for his period of mourning. So he's serving up drinks. He's barely even charging people until they say they're not paying for it, at which point he charges double.
The crew have noticed this and are now insisting that they're not paying for anything while happily running the card as many times as they can.
You guys get upstairs to Quartz's office. Quartz ushers out another drunken crew member going, "Now I do hope you'll take this investment advice to heart. Please please make sure you're buying physical items when people are selling you deeds. The deed to the idea of a picture is not the same thing as owning the
I'm back.
Kendra Dumont and his merry band of NFT pirates.
They said that it'll be worth 5 times as much when I sell it to somebody else.
Okay. This book is on speculative markets and how to appreciate futures properly. I need you. You can read, right?
Depends on what language.
It has pictures. Can you? You see? He opens it up. It's a pop-up book.
Are those pictures sellable?
Speculative investment. I need this book now.
It's 600 pages. It's so goddamn thick.
That is, yes, excellent. Well, the crewman will happily agree to take a look through it and wander off.
Show it to your friends. Tell them to stop coming up here. Quartz sees you guys. His mood was already sour. It arguably gets worse. It perks up a little bit when he sees Chivalry and Sweet Tooth. He ushers you. He looks at you guys. Looks at his office. Looks at like the 6 people. Realizes there's no fucking way you're all fitting. He goes, "You guys want to take this downstairs?"
I don't think we'll be able to hear each other think downstairs.
Quartz goes, no. He snaps his fingers. You see a little pillar of quartz spread across the floor, spread out into a hallway, and just cordon off a table for you guys. It'll be quiet.
Perfect. Yes, downstairs it is.
It'll be quiet, or there will be blood.
Chad, the man in the mirror.
All right.
Everybody did listen to where there's a whip, there's a way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's good. It's a great Hobbit song. Or song from the Hobbit.
That was from The Lord of the Rings.
Wasn't it? Wait, oh my god.
Yeah. So they're walking into Mordor.
Oh my god, you're right. Okay. So Quartz sits you guys down and goes, "Alright, I'm just gonna say right now. You guys aren't investing in produce futures, right?"
No. We kind of broke a treaty that we didn't know existed with the hive.
Chivalry will sigh though and say, God, that's still a thing. It's been 600 years.
They haven't discovered tulips yet, and for that I am thanking every god I'm aware of.
Chivalry takes a sip of whatever's in front of him and like toasts heartily to that.
Alright. Hancock, you seem like you're holding the most papers here.
Okay. So, I'll hand them over to him. So we have 2 other people here working with us, and I'll introduce Sal Jr. and Heartless Bob.
Quartz nods at Heartless Bob. They've worked together before. Him and Sal Jr. make eye contact, and it's just the 60s Spider-Man thing of them pointing at each other. It's like, you were there! Like, they recognize each other, but in like...
I did say Quartz. Just... I warned you, I think. I don't know if warning was necessary.
Sal Jr. looks and goes, "So your name's Quartz then?" Not okay. It's like, I was on a job. I was just surveying. I'm deeply sorry for the insults I levied against your wife and children.
I'm just gonna snap my head over at Quartz.
Alright, no. Let's not get distracted by this amazing piece of tell me everything!
It's roll command.
I just don't deal well with children. They have no respect for procedure. And Sal just he has the gesture where it's the open palms, what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, they're children.
Vile creatures, anyway.
So they're gonna stop. Go. So business? Yeah, business. Right, business. Yeah, business.
You're prisoners. Woo!
Hey, can I publish that, Chris?
What is?
Wait, actually. Wait. Hi, Queen of Gossip.
Why
There
did
we
you
go.
spell his name that way?
Yes,
Is that not how it's spelled?
It's
No,
like
there's no D.
it's John Hannibal Hancock.
The Hannibal got replaced.
yeah.
It's
Hancock,
Hancock,
like the founding father.
Hancock.
You know, like John Hancock.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Hi, Queen of Gossip. I love it. That's good.
So, Quartz reads over the incident, asks you guys a few questions just to get filled in. Goes, yeah, no, that's not great. So from what Sal here tells me, or from what Salvador here tells me, you guys have considered the mercenary route. If you wanted to be recognized as an official, I guess expeditionary force would be the closest legal term. What we would have to do there is, the hub would have to officially, basically challenge the Hive's ownership of Shrimptown. We would have to delegitimize their claim, which, I'll be honest, I've read the reports on the Shrimptown residents. They would probably support us doing that. And we would have to... Honestly, if we...
Really? Why would they support that?
Shrimptown residents fucking hate the Hive. They were annexed by force.
Shrimptown or the Hive would support that?
Shrimptown would support that. The
Gotcha.
residents. The Hive would not. They consider it... They basically consider them not even like a puppet, but as an extension of their territory.
Chivalry perks up a little bit of that and then sits back down.
You know how like the English considered Ireland to be a part of England, and the Irish vehemently disagreed with that.
Yeah.
Chivalry's shot glass cracks a bit in his grip.
That one should have ruled olive oils.
Imagine that, but the British considered the Irish even less than human.
Chivalry's glass shatters in his hand. Sorry.
Silly Sam, that's not possible.
So what you're saying is the potato famine's constantly going on in Shrimptown?
Weirdly, Chivalry looks at you at Hancock's glass when he says that, and Hancock's glass shatters.
I don't flinch.
It's perfect. So it was until the shrimp spawning happened. The area became too hostile for the Hive to exert effective control over it. And now the residents themselves are able to put up a pretty good insurgency. Or I guess it would be partisan action? I've never been good with military terms, I'm sorry. But basically, we would have to contest the Hive's claim on the territory, which would invalidate several treaties, but we could do it, and we could do it in a legal way.
What are the treaties that it would invalidate, and what would the consequences of that be?
So, a guy by the name of Tristan, after the executives were forced out of the area and the hub had to reestablish itself, due to the government was seen as illegitimate, so we had to basically pay lip service to the Hive.
Gotcha.
Recognized, the rice fields and Shrimptown for all future hub diplomacy would be recognized as Hive territory. And for that, they rewarded us with shipments of food, wax, and the like. And they didn't get too upset when we stopped importing slaves. Because, That was an executive order. We didn't want to continue it.
Sure.
So basically, we would be starting from ground zero. If you want to do that, we'd have to secure a source of food. Honestly, if you could just get the rice fields and Shrimp Town to ship on their own, the rice fields produces enough produce, Shrimp Town produces enough meat that we'd probably be able to survive in addition to our own local fisheries. We'd stop exporting, which would be an economic hit, but we could do it. We would just have to get Shrimp Town and the rice field to the point where they have no supporters of the hive, and they would be willing to deal with us instead of them. Shrimp Town, that's not going to be too difficult. They already want to break away. The rice fields is going to be a lot more difficult. They both have supporters of the hive there, and the military presence of the hive is much, much greater there.
What sort of presence does the hive specifically have, like, culturally?
I'd say it's like the antebellum South. Pretty much all of the power is in the hands of a few, or like aristocrats. Then you have their simps, who believe, if we just get spit on enough by the upper class, eventually we might be one of them. And then you have a mercenary class of overseers who is comprised of mercenaries who did make it to overseers, thus proving the mythology that social mobility exists in the hive when that's a pretty negligible amount. You have a massive mercenary class that acts as peacekeepers, keeps the slaves in line, and acts as a specialized military branch. Think like special forces. And then you have the slave economy. Slaves keep it running. It's about 80% of the population, but between the slave collars, brands, mimetic hazards, and overseer, it's hard. It's hard to break away when they're just over your shoulder constantly. Slaves will be used for everything from labor to as a expendable military force, as a economic bartering chip. They will sell their slaves if need be. All that and more. Honestly, if you can get Shrimp Town and the rice fields to break away, they would lose a good 2 steady sources of slave labor they recruit from, but their primary source of people comes from the dimensional refugees that come in from further south. The constant conquests they do when they're not in harvest mode. There's always satellite settlements that they are willing to go out and raid. Hell, they've even... Sal Jr. chimes in. Yeah, they've even come down as far south as the flotilla to take people. And they get imports from... I know they get imports from 5 Points and from the Crimsons. They'll buy people from them as well. If you can disrupt those... remember, the slaves are the heart of the economy. If you can disrupt those trade negotiations, those deals, they're going to start taking atrophy. They're going to take attrition really fast after that.
Got it. Okay. I don't think we can solve that in 12 hours, getting everyone on board with that. So I think going with the mercenaries...
I want to point out, the hive is still harvesting. While they can move fast for war, you're going to have a month or 2 to prepare. You can declare your intentions, And the second we say that, we can immediately go to Shrimp Town, find out what they need, get them on side. The fact that we'd be bold enough to declare that to their face, that's the push Shrimp Town needs to know we're on their side.
Is there anyone in the hive we could strike down to diffuse their entire organization? Perhaps sidestep this whole problem.
But see, the issue with that is if it's just one person, they can just resurrect them. Resurrection talents aren't that rare. They're rare, not that rare.
What if we were to completely
We'd have to do like multiple
vaporize
prompts.
Well, completely vaporizing them works for someone like Alabaster, for example, but I'm sure there are resurrection talents that can just from nothing. Like, I don't want to. I'm gonna stop because I don't want to show the Vaquero's hand.
Remember,
I'm gonna say it.
Vaqueros,
Out of character.
I need to reiterate. Remember, the Vaqueros have left for cargo. They are no longer in your service.
Yeah, but like I still don't want to show their hand. That feels rude.
Oh, that's fair.
Is Bill's disintegrate like I had intended that to also be kind of like a spiritual annihilation thing?
I think you'd need more extras for that.
You would need a separate useful for that, and it would be.
I'm gonna take disintegrate twice.
It would be. It's a weird one.
Okay.
You'd have to attach your power to that.
Yeah. It would be. It's difficult to build, but it is doable.
Yeah. Attach a weird nullifier or something.
It's also so niche that it might make your character a bit weak, because that's a lot of points to spend on something that's going to come up like once or twice.
Fair.
We'd have to do like multiple prongs. Like we'd have to disrupt slave shipments, disrupt, maybe cause a slave revolt, have Shrimp Town not support them anymore, try to get the rice fields to support us instead as well, or free the rice fields.
I don't think we have the mobility for that right now, especially with Dumond out.
It would be freeing Shrimp Town and then getting support from the rice fields. Rice fields is actually a relatively strong area. Their population is high because it's all farmers. They make a ton of food, but the issue is they're treated relatively well by the hive.
That makes sense. Well, did Heartless Bob come with us?
He is there. He is just staying quiet because he hasn't been asked to speak.
So what is he?
You have?
What was your slave revolt plan?
He pulls that out. Okay, so from intelligence we've gathered, we know that there is a man by the name of the Butcher. We know that's a pseudonym. We don't know his face. We don't know much about how he operates. Makes sense, though. Secrecy is paramount when operating in the hive. They do have a big brother state thing going on. Now, for the slave revolt, I'm just going to ask right now, as far as I'm aware, everyone here can be trusted. Anyone disagree with that?
I'll say for the purposes of this conversation, absolutely.
Okay. We have managed to get people inside the hive before. That's how we became aware of the Butcher. Now,
I will be back in a minute or two.
Okay. If we could get an operative in the hive in a relatively high standing position, we could free him up for movement. The Butcher, as long as he has heat taken off of him, should be able to organize a slave revolt on his own. We just need to make sure he doesn't die, and we need to make sure he has blind spots to operate in. Now, second...
Wait, out of character. Should I bring up our operative, guys?
I was going to keep quiet about that, just because we are currently talking with Quartz, and while I trust him, I don't entirely trust him.
Got it. He does work with Chernoff.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I have a few of our guys I'd be willing to, for lack of a better word, sacrifice. I don't expect to get them back, but I have a few fops I could put in the hive. Marty would be one. We got Brick. Not exactly subtle, but they'd be tough enough to work as overseers, and they have the moral flexibility necessary. Animal and Lug, while they would be the ones skilled enough for it, unfortunately, I think would break.
You can't. Yeah, they'd break, and I wouldn't be willing to sacrifice them personally. That seems like a bad choice.
Now, second, one thing no one's talked about is their whale oil operation. They make They have a source of whale oil coming in from somewhere. What they do is they have some chemical refinement process that allows them to mix a ridiculously small amount of whale oil with a vat of beeswax, and it becomes a stabilized fuel. If we could, I am certain that they would devote any amount of manpower to stop that secret getting out, or to pursue, if we steal one of their shipments of whale oil, they will devote a significant force towards getting it back. If we can time that? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
An idea. What if we just tried to work with the whalers to stop shipments altogether?
So the issue is we know it's not coming from the whalers. We don't know where they're getting it.
Yeah, the whalers seem somewhat upset about the fact that they had it.
So we can get the whalers pissed and on our side.
Hopefully. Although I don't know how much
with the whalers.
Yeah, I don't know how happy they'll be with us right now.
What did we do?
Oslo's a little bit in a jar right now. I'm going to call them on the way back, actually.
I mean, I was going to say, we have time. You should go there with someone.
I think we do have time.
Yeah.
Right. I think I'm good to go to the whalers, says Propulsion.
So, would it be a good idea to rope Corey in on this conversation, because he's currently the one who I feel like is most running the hive, and I think should have some say in the direction we go, since it does have consequences for the hive. As
Heartless Bob speaks up, I'd keep him out of it. Remember what I said earlier about a certain moral flexibility?
Yeah.
Corey does the right thing when he needs to. In this case, that might be inadvisable in certain situations. He won't be upset, he won't act against us. In fact, that's kind of my job.
Another thing outside of talking more with the people here, should I show him that we have the schematics to the slave collars? Because maybe Heartless Bob can come up with a way to deactivate them.
You have schematics for some of them. You don't have schematics for all of them, and you don't have... I believe you don't have the schematic for the most common variant, but you do have some of them.
Well, I did deactivate something. I don't know exactly which one it was.
I would have to track down the VOD, or... Actually, I might rewrite some of the slave collars to be a little bit more specific and distinct, actually. But, yeah. You have some of them. You don't have the most common one. That's still true.
Okay. Did Charlie or guys? Should I show them that?
Sure. Yeah.
All right. I will pull out the schematics or draw the schematics of the slave collars. I have the schematics for some of them, not the most common though.
Okay.
And I'll show that to Heartless Bob.
he's gonna look that over. Go. I honestly can't make heads or tails of this. Would you be cool if I bring that back to some of my guys at the wharf?
Yeah,
See, we might have someone who can figure this shit out, but
I could probably work with them.
yeah. If we could crack the slave collars, that would help us out with the slave revolt angle.
Yeah, unfortunately, though, that's not all of them, just some of them.
Still a start. Better than what we had.
True. Do you think it could be possible? I know I have candy that I've made in the past that has supplied entire meals for people. I supplied the entire, with help, supplied the entire hub with drinkable water. Do you think that could potentially offset some of the issue? Maybe not a long-term solution, but short-term.
We'd have to. Well, if the hive cuts off food for an extended period of time, we can institute rationing. Some buildup would be nice, but I guess it comes down to: do we announce our intention now, or do we lie, say you guys weren't directly working with us, and try and use that time for a bit of buildup? That would cause Shrimptown to become distrustful. They don't like moves like that. But
That's understandable. My primary concern with that move is that we did not try and make any moves to hide the fact that multiple FOPs worked with us in our involvement at the raid of the flotilla.
are you certain they'd know about that?
I'm not, but we did immediately enter Verbal King's Bar after the fact. And out of game, were the FOPs with us?
They were.
And when we did that, we had the FOPs with us. So he would likely have that information, and it could be purchased, as anything Verbal King knows would.
They would be able to afford it too. Alright.
So we don't know that they know it, but we don't know that they don't, which is maybe not the best risk we could take, but it's certainly something to consider.
Alright. Well, we've talked about plans and circles for a while. End of the day, you guys are the ones on trial, so vote from you guys. What do you want to do? Do you want to move towards annexing Shrimptown? Or, I guess, decolonizing it? Or would you prefer to go the mercenary route and disavow any formal connections to...
I think building trust with Shrimptown is probably very important, especially since they can deliver us meat, at least. We'll have to figure out something else for, like, other rations.
Well, other rations would eventually be the rice fields, but that wouldn't be probably immediately available and could potentially be an issue.
So, like, rationing wouldn't be that heavy for at least meats, which is one of your primary thing.
Yeah. Shrimptown would help, but it's the smallest of the three corners of this triangle. They due to the nature of the shrimp spawning, their operation's not at full strength.
I mean, it'd probably be best to start with the smallest part of the triangle.
It's also the easiest part.
Yeah. Makes things easier. It'll be a trial run, but also...
I think we should do, like, multiple things during the harvest, too. I think causing the slave revolt, trying to figure out the whale oil, and then also having someone infiltrate, and also disrupting, like, slave trade would also, like, all of it would cause a lot of destabilization for them.
Now,
Plus, we've also heard reports that there's tension between them and the Iron Legion.
Another thing that I would like to consider is would Shrimptown perceive us in a legal case not having any claim to be connected with the hub as a move that could potentially make them distrustful. Is that how that would be perceived? Do we have any information in that regard?
I am back.
Because from certain points of view, they're barely related in the consequence of that. We're just people that helped them out either way.
So that's an interesting point you bring up with them being concerned about the Iron Legion. I didn't know about that. This is still Heartless Bob speaking. He's gonna think for a second, and Quartz is gonna raise a hand and go, so I know for a fact the Hive is actually pretty corrupt as shit. Basically, we could exploit that. If you guys claim to be mercenaries, if they're really concerned about the Iron Legion, they might be willing to accept the lie and not look into it if they feel you're helping them with the Iron Legion.
I mean, I have very good reason to help them against the Iron Legion, so we could swing it.
But we would still be working against the Hive.
Yes, but it would be taking the mercenary option. You'd be doing like the two-faced thing, so you'd have to convince Shrimptown. But it would mean Shrimptown. It would mean not Shrimptown. It would mean the Hive doesn't exactly. They'll notice that there's contradictions in your story, but they'd go, "Wow, guess we got some bad reporting." Anyway, about what you're doing with the Iron Legion.
Would it specifically help us if, and this is true entirely, we said we were on a mission there to help us gather resources for our defense against the Iron Legion?
Salvador chimes in. It certainly wouldn't hurt.
We also do have quite the body count against the Iron Legion, so that does work in our favor in this case.
And you guys know that the Hive, due to your actions, is paranoid about the Iron Legion. You know that for sure.
Yeah.
And it's a deep one. It's a deep paranoia.
I kind of like that angle personally. Like, this is Seth.
Haven't we also been planting seeds with the Iron Legion that the Hive was going to attack them too?
Yeah.
Take the Foundry.
Yeah. They believe that.
Okay.
Did we even have a hand in that one, or did that one just happen?
I had a hand in that one.
Yeah. It was multifaceted.
I couldn't remember if what's his name? Ronnie did.
You guys did have a hand in that, but it was also something the Iron Legion kind of suspected.
Carronade seized upon an opportunity to do a propaganda spin.
When Tristan came, Skywright's like, the Hive fucked us. Like, you guys did multiple things. The Iron Legion is convinced the Hive is coming for their ass.
Okay.
I know.
So, I guess if we are going to do this, right, we go underhanded. We gives us some time to start stocking food, and then also we can start looking into where they're getting major shipments of slaves, oil, and start disrupting those operations without them knowing.
I will say, if you go formal annexation, that will change how the settlements view you, but it puts the Hive on high alert. If you go the double-faced route, the Hive remains on low alert because they think, oh, okay, we see how these guys operate. They're not actually trying to do something here.
Which, to be fair, we weren't at the time.
You weren't at the time, but going forward.
But things changed.
I think that's probably the best route for us. It does. I'm not even 100% convinced it actually makes an issue with the with Shrimptown, because we're kind of just doing a legal case. It's true that we were there, not really representing the hub, on a mission to get resources to help fight the Iron Legion. That is exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing that gets Shrimptown on board is the part they respect would be going to the hive and going, yeah, fuck you, you don't own it. That's the kind of energy Shrimptown wants.
So what we're going to do is we're going to end up at some point, and I'm not sure how joking I am right now, is we're going to have end ourselves up in having a second case, and we'll do it at that one.
Propulsion volunteers to be the inciting incident for that case.
What do you guys think? I personally think the annexation is the thing that Mr. President would like, but I don't want to. I'm like one vote, so
I think propulsion. I'm not too sure about Carronade, but I think propulsion would go for the double-faced route.
I think Carronade's with Amp. They're not out here.
You guys do have radios.
But like if it came down to a vote, propulsion would be all for the double-faced route because it means he gets to fuck over both the Legion and the Hive.
Just, can we move this away from what characters are voting and just go with what players are voting?
I would like to see how you guys would vote in character.
Okay.
I was up for a bit. Can we go over every single option in, very shortly?
Okay.
And I also don't think Amp would even care.
So, there's two routes presented right now. I'm not saying these are the only routes, but these are what's presented right now. There is basically saying we are formally annexing, or not formally annexing, but decolonizing Shrimptown. We don't recognize the Hive as having a formal claim over it. And what's going to happen there is that's pretty much based on information you guys have from Shrimptown personally and from Mutant Squad. That's going to get them on side. Shrimptown hates the Hive. And more importantly, what they respect most is you guys going up to the Hive and saying, fuck you, you don't own it. That's the energy they want. So basically going that route gets Shrimptown on side, makes your intentions immediately declared to the rice fields, which will change how you interact with them. But it puts the Hive on high alert, and it's not going to give Heartless Bob and crew a ton of time to stockpile material, food, aid, and it's going to put you on a bit of a clock. Not much. They still have to finish up the harvest. They cannot act while they're doing the harvest. But it does put them on high alert, which might make certain actions harder. Then there's the double-faced abdicating, oh, no, we're not connected to the hub at all. We're mercenaries. And basically what you would be doing there is you could say we're working against the Iron Legion, of course, which there's a deep-seated paranoia in the Hive against the Iron Legion, both due to actions and natively. You guys have taken actions, it's extreme. The second you guys say you're working against the Iron Legion, they're going to be a lot more lenient with any holes or contradictions in your story, because they want you out there fucking up the Legion. So if you go that route, you would still have to do a bit of a trial. You would still have to provide some paperwork, but it's not going to be too hard. What that would do is Shrimptown and the rice fields are not going to be aware of your intentions. The Hive is going to remain on low alert, but you'll have to do a lot more work convincing Shrimptown and the rice fields that you mean business. And more importantly, you're going to have to convince them that you actually do represent the hub when you've gone on record saying you don't.
Okay. So I don't know if it would become important. I will point out that chivalry now as a result of becoming more real than he has been up to. Chivalry can't lie either. I don't know if that changes anyone's decision making.
Well, he simply won't testify. Was he there? Did
I don't think
he
so.
attend? I forget.
I'm not sure, but Salvador can chime in. Technically speaking, Chivalry would not be asked to testify. Constructs of powers, at most, can be called as witnesses, but since Dredger isn't here, that's the person that would be directly interviewed. Chivalry is not considered a person by the laws of the Hive.
Is that convenient for me in some way?
It means you're not going to be able to weigh in. They may ask you questions, but your testimony is going to be weighed less than that of a quote-unquote real person.
Chivalry seems a little pissed off about that, and he'll go delicately pick up one of the shards of his shot glass and rub a bit of whiskey stained on it onto his beard.
Okay. So that's 2 votes for the fuck you, you don't own it, right?
Both of my characters are going to vote for the two-faced method because Sweet Tooth's primary concern and holdup is food resources that we have 0 time to stockpile. That's real bad for him. And Charlie's holdup is the other thing, which is that it will be a lot easier to work and act and do things if the Hive is not on high alert. And he is very invested in trying to discover what's going on with the oil shipments and see if we can prevent that. Maybe get the whalers on board.
Okay. So that's 2 for fuck you, 2 for double face.
So Carronade wouldn't want a double face because it goes against his sense of professionalism. Because if he signs up for a job, he signs up for a job and he's doing the job. So he'd want to go the fuck you route.
Okay. Alright, that's 3 for decolonize.
That's probably also what Chivalry would vote for, because decolonize fits in with his understanding of the world and what he likes.
Let me just... If everyone could just post in Night of Many Tens what their character is, so I don't... Just so we have a record of it, actually. Okay. That's 2. There we go.
What would Bill vote for?
What would Demond vote for if you were here?
Oh, Derek, that's actually very important. The crew is going to be testifying.
The crew is going to be testifying. What is the crew testifying about?
Basically, they can't get a hold of Dumond, so the crew is going to be... They're going to be witnesses to what happened.
Great. Okay. What did happen? What are they testifying about?
Basically, remember when you guys rolled up on Shrimp Town? And you guys fought off a subjugation force from the Hive?
I'm not sorry, my wife was attacking me.
No worries.
Knee shot, stop! No!
So,
He's defenseless!
We were fighting over the thermostat.
So what's going to happen is the Hive is going to be asking for, like, hey, what happened? And the crew is going to be like, all right, they're either going to say, hey, we sailed into Shrimp Town, fucked some shit up, and they're either going to say, we fucked it up for our own gain, or we fucked it up for the gain of the hub. For the gain of our hub.
It's definitely we sailed in and fucked it up for peace, freedom, and the non-American way.
Okay, so is that for their own game? That's like the crew just did that on their own?
Yeah, for shits and giggles.
Okay, so in the chat, just say you voted for Two-Face. That's how I'm tallying this. That's basically going to go like, hey, we're mercenaries, not officially regulated, you know.
Which
So,
is the one that is for decolonized? Because that's what Chivalry would want.
that's the fuck you option.
I mean, the crew definitely was not affiliated with the hub, and was not doing it on behalf of the hub. Captain Dumont wasn't either. He was doing it because it was an adventure.
That's very fair.
What solution would most likely help the slave population the Hive has? Because that's what Bill would most want.
It's you can help them doing both. It's just a matter of the different options make different missions more difficult. They make other missions less difficult.
Yeah, because like Bill both is against the concept himself based on what's happened to him, and the Tooth actually also hates the idea of slavery for its own complicated reasons.
Okay. That leaves Amp's not voting, right, Chris?
No.
Okay, so would Mr. President prefer to do this?
I don't think it matters. It's 5-2.
Oh, it is 5-2? All right. Final verdict. Two-Face. Okay. That's locked in. Everyone agrees. As the voting comes to a close, you guys hear the far-off distance of a ship's air horn, a bullhorn. Salvador's going to win. It's going, those are Hive ships.
Yep, that's all right.
It begins!
Heartless Bob gets up going, all right, I'm going to gather up the rest of Dumont's crew. Try and sober him up for the hearing.
Good
luck!
He just kind of sounds like, I know I'll fucking need it. Chorus.
A lot of them are at Cream's place right now.
God damn it.
Will it be a known fact that Bill is with the FOPs, technically speaking? Can he come too?
Also, I'm pretty sure if he rounded up all of Captain Dumont's crew and tried to bring them to the Hive, it would count as an invasion. That would count as launching a military assault on a sovereign nation.
Actually, wait a second. How much? So specifically, crew get. The crew could use the Market Street money to buy land, right? Is it possible that we could convince the crew to just fucking buy and everything we need from the Hive?
Wait, let's go check the wording on the deal.
I'll do that. I'm going to use the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Could we just sidestep?
I don't think we can.
Entirely without powerfully. Like,
on the other hand, we could gamble for it and put up a pile of credits as collateral.
Okay, so the exact wording of the deal, I transcribed this from the exact words that the first mate said to Mammon Gray, to which Mammon Gray said, deal is an open tab for every member of the ship's crew until the captain returns at any and all businesses, omitted places of inebriation, gambling halls, and other such facilities that you may be able to access. Unless they are buying land at a store, I don't believe that falls under the purview.
The Hive is a business, and they do have slavery and land. So
to buy all of your slaves and land.
Could not the crew just buy fucking everything we need? God. Fuck Mammon Gray over in a huge way.
I'm just gonna copy the exact wording and paste it.
Okay.
That's probably good.
Again, I say this is exactly transcribed from the first mate's words.
Excellent.
Sam, we're doing the dumb again.
All right, I'm back. What happened?
We're wondering if Seth
Is
has
the Hive a business
reposted the.
before anything else? Is the Hive technically a business?
No.
Okay.
It is a sovereign state.
That's what I thought.
Okay, we were wondering if if Captain Dumont's crew with their open tab for Mammon Gray could just fucking buy everything.
The idea or concept predicated on the fact that the Hive was a business, which I didn't think it was.
Yeah.
Wait, weren't you talking about you were concerned about not having enough food stockpiled for the conflict?
Yes, which is why I voted Two-Face Route as Sweet Tooth.
Now, unfortunately,
So-
the Hive doesn't have a series of businesses. Everything is state-owned.
They're fucking communists. Jesus
I
Christ.
don't know if they count as communists.
That sounds more fascist to me.
Yeah. The
Either
thin
way,
red
I
line.
feel like an argument could technically be made that by this agreement, that Captain Dumont's crew could buy every single slave. Or as many as the Hive was willing to part with.
I don't see it.
I like it, but I don't see it either.
Okay.
It's unfortunate.
That would have
I
been
mean,
fucking
Sam,
funny if you could just
do you
whack.
see it? Do you think there is any argument we make that any other such facility would count a sovereign state?
Unfortunately, I don't see you guys making an argument that holds up in the court of Mammon Gray.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on if we think Mammon Gray would like the argument.
How's Mammon Gray's pockets feeling after the crew?
They're probably fine. It probably didn't even make a noticeable ding. I don't even want to use the word dent because that's too big.
When you guys bought the Resurrection, he had a moment where he's like, my net worth isn't going up as fast as it normally is. Oh, it's back to normal. Okay, we're good.
He can use the singularity to control inflation and deflation. He's not hurting at all.
All right. So the ironclad the armored ships of the Hive. Not much metal on these guys actually. It's mostly like they got like some iron plating or I guess steel, but it's mostly they're just giant fucking ships. They pull up. You notice a number of overseers, a number of slaves just actually running the ship. The plank the front opens up in like a massive wooden iron amalgamation plank. You see a man in a beekeeping suit walk up to you guys, takes off his helmet. Hey there, I'm Reginald. I'll be your escort today.
To meet you?
Hello, Reginald. You
Nice to
sleeping
meet you, Reginald.
fuck.
All right. I will be your escort today if you just want to come on the ship with me.
Yes, sir.
He surreptitiously cracks a glow stick.
Okay.
Waves slaves and overseers away. He's like, so these are going to be your quarters? Let me just show you around. He goes and closes the door, slides a glow stick through the loop. Hey guys, how you been?
Not great. We were fighting the Iron Legion about 3 days ago. So that wasn't fun.
I mean, honestly, not as bad as it could have been. How's your neck?
Not as
doing better?
bad. I died in a fucking nuclear explosion.
Lots of people died in a nuclear explosion. It's not.
You're not special.
Oof.
So, Reginald is managing to talk to you guys as the entirety of the crew of the ship goes, how many fucking people. We're at the. There's a rushing on. We have to do Mud's entire crew.
Wait, are they actually bringing the entire crew? Can we
Not
just
the
bring
entire crew. They got a few hundred, and they're just like, fucking pack them in. Throw some of the slaves overboard. We'll make room.
They're just hanging. The crew are hanging hammocks in the hallways.
Do we have
Also,
people from the candy shop here? Like, are Bill and everyone else?
I would imagine everyone's here.
Can we end soon?
They're gonna wait for you guys to board. Yeah, we can end
Also,
soon, actually.
when some of the slaves are being thrown overboard, some of the crew will grab unnoticed ones, stick crewman hats and blouses on them, and usher them off to a hammock. Congratulations, you are being liberated. Please do not resist.
Alright. So we'll open with Reginald's update next session. But
Sure.
yeah, everyone gets 1 experience point for showing up.
Yeah.
Who?
Now, okay, wait. Before we move on, Tom, we made the same noise, and did you steal that noise from me, or did I steal that noise from you? Because I'm pretty sure I've been making that noise a long time.
I've stolen that noise from you, and it's the one I've stolen from my friends.
Okay.
But you're right, the timing was impeccable.
So wait.
I'm not sure the normal questions work for this session.
Is this everyone gains 2 session?
I think this is an everyone gains 1 additional experience point session. Because my brain is fucked, and I can't.
Alright, good night, guys.
Good night.
Good night.
By the way, I just...
Do you know how... Go ahead.
No, you do yours first, because mine's a little bit off topic. I guess arguably off topic. Go ahead.
Do you know how irritating it is to look at my character sheet and see 9.5 experience and 11.2 experience?
I was just thinking how happy I was that my experience number is currently a whole number. I was looking at that and I was like, oh, that's so
Am I going to
nice.
get 4/5 of a point of experience?
Hey, Derek, I can make it easier for you. I will give you 0.2 experience. Because I want numbers on my sheet too.
Yay.
So,
Thank you. Very
the
generous.
thing that I was going to say, I've been running my D&D game with my brother and some of our friends, and at the end of D&D games, I miss the end of session voting so much. Like, it's just such a nice way to end sessions because it's a free recap. You don't have to pay anything for your session recap. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good
So
innovation.
glory.
Yeah, sorry this session was mostly me talking.
That's alright.
I do not mind those sessions, and especially I've been like a little bit out of it today, so it was that
Because it's time for exposition!
basically.
Strap in, kids, it's time for Sam to read his poorly written fanfiction.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
I don't want your market Sona, Sam.
No. It's fine. See, he's crossing his arms. There's a Stonks picture in the background. He has an enormous
I see
ball.
a picture of Stonks. He's from the Iron Legion.
I miss
And
Stonks.
he's dead. Yeah, he seemed like he would have been fun. I hope you get to do something with Stonks with Mutant Squad.
If he
wouldn't-
if he managed to win, he was gonna look around surreptitiously, draw a line going up, and go Stonks.
I desperately hope. Can you throw Crucible at Mutant Squad? See how they react.
Mute
Tell me
Squad's
about
getting
Crucible.
everything in the fucking sink thrown at them.
So Crucible is a character I posited. He is a High Lord of the Aoshi. He's a fairy. But he has brain damage, so he joined the Iron Legion, even though they're called the Iron Legion. And his whole thing is he doesn't understand why he feels like shit and sets on fire when he wears the armor.
Oh, poor guy.
Like, he just doesn't get it.
The Iron Legion thinks he's metal as fuck.
Yeah, they think it's awesome. It's like he lights up like fucking Ghost Rider.
What's he wear? Does he just wear a Mark III? Like, is that it?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Because, like, I don't think he can wear, I don't
a fucking Gorgon Slayer would evaporate this man.
What, could he operate a Leviathan? Could he, like, help out with those?
Those crew are usually pretty specialized.
Okay.
Like, they were usually sailors before all this shit went down.
Okay.
That's why, ironically enough, the Leviathan crew is almost harder to replace than the Leviathan itself.
Interesting. So in other words, I should target the crew with Turn to Glass rather than the Leviathan itself, which I probably should have been doing anyway because of how much math.
Please not turn my crew to glass.
Look, dude, you have so many, you're not going to miss a couple of them.
I am in love with each and every one of them.
They are
all of them are intricate and deep characters, just like Ahab.
They are all my children. They are all special.
And he definitely did not take me 30 seconds of panicked thinking to come up with.
I am so happy though, because like I think that's the funniest thing I've ever said as Bill. Like, I made the greatest friend, or I made one of my greatest friends and lost them in the course of 3 minutes.
Just the mad captain stabbing a harpoon into an oyster going, and then like the light just fucking blows him out.
I'm so sad that he got completely disintegrated because I desperately wanted Bill to be wearing his sou'wester from this point on.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
We could buy another one, but it just wouldn't be the same.
It wouldn't be.
Propulsion's just walking around with everyone like, I wonder when everyone's gonna leave for the court. I don't have to be there. I'm not going.
Repulsion and Avengers have a game of Uno. Neither of them know how to play.
Yeah, we just gave them a pack of cards. They're still arguing about the rules. So what we left them is a list of optional house rules that are common. We did not leave them the actual rules because we assumed they knew how to play. And they have been arguing about what the rules are the entire time. No, it didn't land? Okay, darn.
No, I was laughing quietly.
You gotta get in one of those. Like, I am aware of like 3 different NPCs now who have 10 wiggle dice in Jenga.
What?
I think you're aware of the one.
Okay, no, I swear it came before that. Who is it? It's Barry 6.
Is that a mall talent?
No. He's a nuclear engineer.
Okay. That doesn't actually narrow it down.
I know. It's great.
Can you just say that glaucoma has 10 wiggle dice in Jenga, so it's just the nuclear engineer thing?
What is a skeleton's favorite snack?
Ribs.
Ribs!
Spare ribs!
That video never fails to kill me when I see it.
The energy of it is horrific. I love it.
I just love him slamming the skeleton into a box.
Fury! Angry!
X!
Yeah, so, before I forget, hey Derek, Dumon's Return, want to run it Friday? It's going to be in the same session as Tom.
Okay, who else plays in that?
Tom.
Secret.
Secret. Only I know. So I have to give Derek access to Evil Tom voice chat?
Yes.
Can I have access to Evil Tom voice chat?
No.
Can I be allowed to see Evil Tom voice chat but not join it?
No.
Darn.
I
I
honestly don't think that's physically possible.
Let's see. Let me look at permissions for channels in the voice trap, because I don't actually know.
Well, like,
View channel.
because people
If I
who can't see the
connect.
Goldilocks away channels
There's no way.
are the ones who don't have
Where
permissions
there's a-
with them, right?
Okay.
There's a way.
So
Where there's a way.
it looks
There's
like
a
you
way.
can make it so that you can view a channel but not connect.
Today, but
That is possible, yes. Because actually thinking about it, and I'm admitting to something I'd almost rather not hear on streamer discords that I've been on. There are channels that are not joinable but are viewable.
Okay. Derek, just because I'll only have time to run one, I think. If you had to make a deal with an extraplanar entity, would you prefer to do capitalism, Daddy, or Doomer political extremist?
Me?
Yes. Or I guess as Dumont, either or.
As Dumont.
Yes.
I have to tell you that option 3 is the only one that Dumont would take. Or at least if he took a deal with one of those, he would not feel himself beholden to keep it.
That's
Okay.
very fair.
I guess he could potentially also make deal with drowning.
So I think for the entire, maybe not the entire, but for most of the time we're doing the Hive stuff, Carinade's gonna just be in the candy shop because he doesn't want to be caught lying on a contract.
Ooh.
That's reasonable.
Okay.
So does he have the... Oh, I just had a horrible idea. I don't even want to say it out loud.
Okay.
Say it out loud.
Say it out loud.
What if Karinade does the grand opening?
What?
No.
Right? Oh.
Sweet Tooth will not allow this. Well, Karinade is one of the people that Sweet Tooth would trust more rather than less. Sweet Tooth will be there for the grand opening.
Also, is there anywhere that Bill can put that giant bag of cash he made without risking Avagdra eating the coins? Or have we already taught her that that's not a thing that's on the table?
If you give it to Repulsion and fill him in, he'd probably do an okay job of keeping her away.
I guess I could just say that Chivalry keistered him.
We just established it wasn't his. The nuke was what made it culturally acceptable to put the hole in his back. You are erasing that progress.
And that's the joke. But yeah, like I guess Chivalry could hold the money.
I'm so glad I don't sneeze like that at work. Jesus fuck.
So the point is when you sneeze, you need to like... It's like I'm still like riding the hive, seeing that magic trick where the guy just like he's about to fight, so someone pulls a knife and he does this weird sleight of hand thing where there's the sound of a Garand ping and he's holding a ladle now. I'm imagining you sneeze and like a pencil just kind of appears somehow from that.
I have a little ladle. I made it out of ping.
Ladle, ladle, ladle. I made it out of ping.
Oh, so there was something I had written where if Chivalry had if I hadn't gotten up, I would have asked this. Chivalry does have a number of legal books that Avery collected. I don't know how helpful they would be.
If they're American, probably not very.
No, I mean like from the city.
Okay, then maybe.
The reason I wanted to bring this up is because when Chivalry took them out, I wanted him to find a light novel in there that was still on topic and be disgusted about it.
Help! I got reincarnated as a divorce attorney.
Oh, the way that I have it is the reincarnated S-rank adventurer lives a peaceful life. I was the weakest until I passed the bar, and now I'm the greatest warrior, and it's time to get revenge. Is the title I came up with for it.
Alright, I think I'm going to stop streaming and go to bed. Good night, guys.
Night.
Wait, Sam, you have work tonight.
I do.
He knows what he
but
said.
I can sleep for like 30 minutes. But
I'm waking you up.
that's fair. 9:45, please.
Got it. You mean 10:45?
Yes, sorry, 10:45.
I
No,
know.
no,
about that for a
9:45.
second.
Wake him up 15 minutes ago.
Wake him up 10 minutes ago.
Okay.
Take a page out of Fuckhands McMike book and just fondle the past.
But yeah, Derek.
Oh, don't do that. That's weird.
I'm down for fondling the past.
Yes.
I've got an idea for Dumont and the adventure of taking his goddamn ship back Friday. Either like 7 or 7:30. Is that cool with you?
Yeah.
All right.
7:30 your time.
Yes.
Okay.
When we
5
start.
30 my time. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, that should work because I should have Traveler from like 1 until 4 or 5ish. So.
Okay. If you need to update the time, just let me know. All right.
All right, I'll talk to you guys later.
Talk to you later.